Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the attendees of the LRVS 2022. We're in day two, and we are on to the next topic. I am proud to introduce Jaime De Luque. He's a consultant at Ideas de Desarrollo. I hope I pronounced it all right. Located out of Colombia, I believe. And his topic, the title of this topic is Six Reasons Why Our Techs Don't Like to Lube and How to Approach the Issue. It's a super cool video. I checked it out earlier while queuing this up. Jamie's not with us. This is a recorded presentation, but you can contact Jamie on LinkedIn and his profile through the app if you have any questions. And let's get this rolling. Thank you very much and hope you enjoy.
Hey, friends and colleagues, thank you for being here with me. Thank you to the LRVS 22 team for inviting me to this talk. I'm very glad to be here with you. Thanks for the space for your time. We're going to share 30 minutes or kind of 30 minutes about a very interesting topic that you as maintenance, reliability, or lubrication professionals probably have encountered in your careers. People don't like lubrication tasks. That's a reality. They may most, not all of them, but most don't like it. Um, they may say they like it, but they all have their problems with that lubrication tasks. So we're going to speak about this. I'm going to share with you a little of my experience in this particular situation. It is based on experiences I have had in consulting and teaching, and of course in conversations and discussions I have had with colleagues and many participants in our courses. My name is Jaime De Luque. It's like I told you, it's a pleasure for me to be here. I'm a consultant, speaker, instructor. I'm part of Noria's team of consultants and speakers and instructors for Latin America, and it's just I'm in love with lubrication, machinery lubrication. Early in my career, I I stepped into lubrication. I wasn't looking for it, as many of you probably, but once I got into the knowing about the lubricant and how all it implies in the reliability, I was all for it. This particular talk, it has a story behind the why I wanted to share this particular experience or this particular topic. It may sound like a r- normal question or easy question, why people don't like lubrication, but let me tell you a little story pretty quickly about the history, the story behind this talk. I was developing a set of trainings. 100 technicians were about to get trained in lubrication and oil analysis in a mining company, and when in the first course, I was fully motivated because of the experience of teaching all that people. It wasn't all at the same time, or it was small groups because of the COVID. Uh, but in the first group, I realized it was going to be a hard experience for me in the good way. I mean, a challenge for me as an instructor, because from the total of 100 and something technicians, only I think it was like 5 or 6 were actually on lubrication. The rest of them on the lubrication stuff. This mining company had a lubrication stuff and mechanical maintenance stuff. So most of the participants were on the mechanical maintenance side. So when I, as normally we do, starting a course, ask them what were they expecting about the lubrication course, they didn't know what to say, and they just told me that they told them that somebody in the company told them they had a course about lubrication, and who wanted to be the first group, second group, third group, and that's all. They didn't want to be there actually, and they didn't know what to expect about the course. So it was a very, very big surprise for me in the moment. But I assumed it like I thought of it like a challenge for me. So I started uh, to ask them about their interest in the lubrication area. And of course, as a consultant and instructor, I had a lot of previous experience in people telling me why they don't like lubrication, or why they want to move from lubrication to another area. But I there in that moment, in that first course, I started to asking directly the question, and started to give some establishing some the principal reasons why people don't like to lubrication. When I asked them that, why you don't like lubrication, that got them from they got surprised. I mean, they wasn't expecting that kind of questions for the lubrication instructor. So I told them, guys, it's okay. This is what I do. This is what I teach. This is what I breathe. I mean, I know people don't like, many of you, not all, but many of you don't like lubrication. They still didn't want it to answer. So I asked them this kind of question. If the company opens an opportunity in the lubrication stuff, who would like to be there? Who will raise the hand and say, I want to be part of the lubrication staff? Of course, nobody raised the hand. So that give me the opportunity to ask them again, why you don't want to be there? Why you don't like lubrication? So they started to get a little confidence and started talking and gave me many reasons. But from that moment to even now in my daily consultant and work, I keep asking that question to technicians and colleagues and reliability professionals and maintenance professionals. So I developed a group of 6 principal reasons why this happened. Thanks to that, like that curious experience I had with that, but with that training. So uh, there are 6 principal reasons. The reasons are these. But the problem, sorry, is that people don't like lubrication tasks, right? They don't like to do lubrication tasks. Some of these reasons you are going to probably thought, okay, that's normal, and some of them you may be you may accept them, or if you don't think like me or you have another idea, you have another reason, please reach me and share with me your feedback. But we are going to share initially in this talk these 6 reasons. The first one, many of them, surprisingly for me, for this was a surprise for surprise for me, they told me it was boring, like that, boring. We later and I later gave it another uh, term. It was repetitive, right? Repetitive. So the lubrication task is refilling oil, checking levels, putting grease on a bearing or whatever, and that's all. So our technicians perceive that lubrication is a repetitive, boring task to do. The other one is that it is an easy task. That boring task is also very, very easy to do, right? The third one, there is no career in the lubrication staff, in the lubrication area. They don't feel, in many companies actually is like that. They don't feel like there is a career. What's the next step before being after being a lubrication technician? Lubrication technician, lubrication technician, lubrication technician. What follows next? lubrication supervisor, and that's all in the many cases. Um, the fourth one, the payment. Yep, payment. That's the one of the most common. Lubrication staff is less salary that other specialties, electrical, mechanical. You know, so that's a pretty common one. The fifth reason is status. That's my the one reason that I put here in this chart. I'm going to tell you why later. And the last one, the sixth reason is lubrication is dirty. Yep, that's the main answer of many or of our technicians. It is dirty. I get dirty. I get oil in my hands. I get grease in my hands. My uniform is bad. It's just like that. That's what people normally feels about lubrication. So we're going to speak a little more to trying to find some causes for these reasons. In the boring, it is because the lubrication tasks are oversimplified. Yep, oversimplified. I mean, as I said it, many people feel it. You only have to refill oil, check level, and put grease. It is very, very simple. The normal lubrication most companies or more technicians or professionals have in their heads about what is a lubrication about is something very simple. And of course, that oversimplified task have make it easy to do, right? In the career reason, if it is a easy, boring, oversimplified task, pues of course is going to be an area where there is no development or growing opportunities. Also, there is no career in lubrication because there is not many budget. No, it's not a big budget or a big investment in lubrication. We are going to see, just a minute, why there's I think there's a poor investment in lubrication, and that poor investment also affects that the payment in lubrication is low because poor investment, low budget area. Uh, I mean, low budget, if we see it compared to the whole lubrication maintenance or operations budget is small what we spend in lubricants and in lubricant stuff. That's why normally we pay a little less or a lot less than other areas, right? And that remuneration is also caused because of the underestimated role of lubrication. It is underestimated. I mean, uh, people believe, I mean, not only technicians, engineers, um, maintenance managers. Surprisingly, I speak with maintenance managers that underestimate the role of lubrication. Sometimes when we do the courses or the consulting, they may think we are exaggerating when we started to show them all the importance lubricant have. So it is for years it have been an underestimated role. That underestimated role makes that even if you have the same salary that another technician, even if in that case your status is below the other one. I in companies where they try to improve the lubrication staff by salary, it is it is good, but it's not enough because even if they pay the same, the lubrication role is seen like a less important role, right? If they are, sometimes some companies even put their people, the new personnel or maybe injured personnel or with personnel or technicians or people with bad behaviors go to lubrication. So the role of lubrication is it had a low status in maintenance and reliability along the other specialties. And the last one, of course, is the big problem of lubrication and the common cause of failure related to lubrication in our equipments. It is lubrication tasks are dirty, and those are dirty tasks because we have lack of procedures, or we don't have procedures or good procedures of lubrication. We don't have the right tools, and we don't have the training, or people or technicians are not trained to do lubrication because it is an underestimated role, because there's no investment there, and it is a simply oversimplified task, right? The same for the tools, no investment. Procedures is a simple task. Why we are going to do a big procedure for a task that anyone can do? Anyone can do lubrication, right? So this dirty issue is related to the whole three causes we have been talking about. Now, oversimplified task is caused by the machine itself or the machines. How's that? In many years, it's normal from many years ago that machines and the manual and the information the OEMs give us about lubrication is very poor for most of them. Some OEMs are getting more attention to lubrication importance and the impact it has on their clients or users experience. So they are putting more information to lubrication. But many manuals, what you receive from lubrication instruction is fill with lubricant or fill with grease, and that's all it says. Maybe where, or maybe the quantity sometimes, uh, but not much more. And our maintenance plans, our lubrication program is based on what the manuals says. So if the manual says, the task only says fill with grease, fill with oil, that's the whole task of lubrication and what it implies. That's why it is oversimplified. Also, the machines are the design of the configuration of the machine. It implies low reliability or low maintainability. I mean, machines that don't have where to see the level clearly, where to inspect, where to take an oil sample. It's a machine that their task of lubrication is easy because there's not much to do. If you don't have filters, if you don't have breathers, if you don't have a sample point, if you don't have a inspection side glass, I mean, if you don't have any of that, what task of your lubrication task are you going to do? So the configuration of our machines also implies that the lubrication task cause that the lubrication tasks are oversimplified. Also, if our machines don't have that kind of don't have we don't think on the implied reliability and the design of our machines, we invest too low on our machines, we invest too low on the reliability and the lubrication of our machines. So that's connected too. Also, poor investment is caused because of the unclear impact of what lubrication generates. What the companies spend on lubrication is very low compared to other spare parts and people and repairs. Maintenance is a big budget. Lubrication is just a lubricants. Sorry, just a little part. So if you try to assume that low investment you do in lubricate in the lubricant itself, in the oil and in the grease, it implies that it is not that important. You are wrong, and you have to check the real impact. The real impact of lubrication is not on the cost of the lubricant itself. It is in what the lubricant do in our machines. It affects the life cost cycle of our machine, the value we get from our machine, the uptime, the reliability, the availability of our machine is directly affected for the lubrication, not only to the product, the lubricant itself, but the task, the way we do lubrication, how we do it, who do it, the lubrication, and what's the procedures and all that implies the lubrication program. So if we don't have that clear, that impact that lubrication generates, not on the cost of the lubricant and the refilling oil and consuming grease, but on the reliability of our machines, we are not seeing the complete picture, and we are going to invest too low in lubrication because we are not going to see the benefit of the investment, right? Okay, that unclear impact also implies the underestimated role. I don't understand why it's so important lubrication, well, I could select whoever is around to do a lubrication task. And that underestimated role is also caused because of the lack of knowledge our management, our engineering staff have about the lubrication. Also our technicians, the knowledge, the lack of knowledge they have in this area is not only knowing that there's oil there. I mean, I am mechanical engineer, and I actually in I didn't see, I mean, in my career I didn't study a lot of in university of lubrication. I knew there was there was an oil inside a machine, but that was the whole information I've got. When I started to work in maintenance, I started to beginning I be to approach of what it meant for the equipment, but also it wasn't enough. When I started to study lubrication and understand the all the science of the friction and wear and the lubrication and the lubrication, how it works inside the machine, how it's done, where, how can I get a lubricant, what is made of, and how it works inside the machine. One thing happens that is very common with our technicians is that they put the lubricant inside the machine, the oil, or they put the grease inside the bearing, but they don't see what happens inside. So that lack of knowledge or understanding what happens inside, what happens there, it makes that the again that task, that role is underestimated. Also, we don't normally know how the well development program, lubrication program looks. We have to do that benchmarking, what we can get, what's going to be the impact of implementing excellence in lubrication. So that's the ORS, the optimum reference state. That's where I want to be. Where I am, where I want to be. That's the gap I want to work with, and start to develop the program. These three last causes, machines, unclear impact, and knowledge, normally are present because we don't have a lubrication management. We don't have a strategy. We don't have a plan. We don't have a well developed structure for the lubrication program. So we don't identify all these problems, but we only start to replace oil, refill oil, change of brands, change of filters, or more filters, more breathers if we have breathers, more failures, but we don't know what's going on. It's not only that the personnel don't like lubrication, all these we are speaking about are common causes to other problems in the lubrication area: failure, oil consumption, leaks. Everything could be related also with this lubrication management missing, right? So we have to implement lubrication management. We have to have champions in this lubrication, and we have to develop a reliability culture. ICML 55, our North Star in lubrication. This standard gives you the requirements to get to the lubrication excellence, to develop your lubrication management, to align that to the maintenance and reliability management, and to impact or generate value to the asset management. What ICML developed in this standard that is aligned with to ISO 55000. It's a very complete document. I I I I ask you to reach to look for it. It's very complete. If you want to to make improvement or implement lubrication management, this is could be the document you want to review. The ICML 55 is when ICML developed the standard, developed also the certification as machinery lubrication engineer. That's the champion role of lubrication defined by ICML. And if you look at the book of knowledge of the MLE certification, you can see why that's the champion, because of the experience you must have, because of the knowledge, the different areas, not only lubrication and oil analysis, but also reliability, maintenance, asset management is a very interesting role that ICML designed for this lubrication engineer. But it's not only the experience and the knowledge of the lubrication engineer. It has to be the program that guides him. He is the one that's pushing the program, but also the program and the champion have to improve the culture of the whole team and all the other areas to generate that conscience about the importance of lubricants and generate a culture of excellence around lubrication, a culture of reliability around lubrication. If we get if we manage to get this lubrication management, we identify our champion, and the champion and the lubrication program start changing the culture. That's the hardest step. If we achieve that, I'm positively telling you that your program is going to change a lot, and you're going to reach a lot of benefits in value and reliability from your equipment. So thank you guys for joining me this in this 30 or more minutes. Thanks again to the LRVS 22 team for the invitation. If you have any questions, comments, feedback about this of this talk and about the chart, if you want to add something, you want to discuss it, please reach me at LinkedIn. There's my user, Jaime De Luque. If you want to share some capture or some comment about review about this talk, please proceed. I mean, I will be happy to read from you. And remember to put the hashtag LRVS22. And well, that's all. Bye, guys.